Hi there, welcome to another edition of BusttheNet. My name is Rashidi, and I'd like to apologize for the lack of updates on the blog and on my website in the last couple of weeks. I've been extremely busy having a whole host of new projects to do in my personal life. I am embarking on a fantastically wild journey in the next couple of months, and I have been planning and setting all of that up, you know, detailing, doing market surveys and studies, and who knows, I might even call up on friends on the internet and all of you for your advice and to collaborate with you guys on what I plan to do in the future. It's a whole new world for me. Meanwhile, back with Football Manager, on my blog, I mentioned that I needed a new challenge. Seems that's the theme of my life at the moment. Everything is a new challenge. So I decided to play lower league football with a team called Geylang International, who hail from Singapore. This is a club that's had a history in Singapore. They're probably one of the older clubs in Singapore. Um, they have won the S League twice, 1996 and I think it was 2001 or 2002 was the last time they won the title. And since then, they've fallen off. The three things I do when I manage an LLM site. The first thing I do is I look at my staff. Now, and then I look at what my board allows me to do. My board only allows me to hire under 18 staff. I can't hire any more coaches for the main team. I can get an under 18s assistant manager, but that's it. That's the total number of staff that I have. So I'm not going to spend too much time worrying about getting staff right now. The second thing I do is I look at my squad. I will break my filters up into defenders. I want to see who can play and who can't play, and whether or not my reserves have any players worth looking at, and if they're good enough, I will move them into the main team. Now, if I'm looking at for LLM or defenders, I will look at pace. I don't want them to be too slow. Second thing I'll look at is bravery. I want them to have some dose of bravery. So all those who are really low will be filtered. I won't be bothering with them unless they are like fullbacks. Finally, I will look at their positioning, and I will also look at their tackling and their marking for a defender. Then I will look at my team and say, okay, fine. Like if you're looking at this guy Kento Fukuda, he has bravery of 13, so he automatically becomes a player I want to keep. Marking is most of his attributes are 10 to 11, so that's like the high side for my team. He becomes a starter for my team. He was actually in the reserves. I moved him in. Then I will look at my attackers. I'm going to break it down into just defenders and attackers. Once again, I will just zoom in on, I just want to look at players who can play in a 4-3-1-2. Up front, I've got Joseph Kaplan. It's actually an all-rounder if you look, defender, wing back, and striker. And I'm going to look at finishing now. First thing I want to know is which of these players can finish. Then I'll look at composure. I don't have this because it's on my laptop, so it's pretty short. So I'm going to look at finishing, and I've got Bruno Castanali, Leonel Felice. In terms of, then I will look at their pace as well. So my strikers are not bad. The average striker has got 10 and 11 and 9, so you're not that bad. Torsten Schneider looks like he's going to be an AMC, not as a striker. He's got off the ball of 11, which makes him ideal for playing as a AMC in my 4-3-1-2. So for training for my team, they are in pre-season right now. They will be doing a heavy dose of fitness training. 40% of their time will be spent on match preparation, and the match preparation will focus on teamwork for pre-season. Once pre-season is done, this will move to a mixture of one of these others: attacking set pieces, defending set pieces, attacking movement, or defensive positioning. The scheduling slider will drop down to 10%, and their fitness will drop down to low. Individually, they will all be on light intensity. Some of them might be on preferred training modes. I haven't LLM. I really don't bother with this until I see how my team is playing, and then I tweak it accordingly. I do not set player preferred moves and whatever, training for those things. I don't bother with LLM at the start, especially when I'm taking over a new team. I just focus on getting the training right, choosing the right players, choosing the right system, and then once I am in my second season or towards the end of the first season where I see, okay, fine, some tweaks I needed, then that's the time when I start looking at preferred moves. Tactically, my team will be playing the 4-3-1-2 Samba or Pepe for 4-1-4-1. These will be the two systems that I'm looking at using for my side. Pepe is going to be a bit more tricky because I don't really have wingers in my team, so most likely I'll start with the Samba. This team, if I'm looking at my team itself, in terms of for my whole team, including my reserves, if I wanted to play the Pepe system, which is a 4-1-4-1, I will need some guys who can play as inside wingers, and I'm not too convinced yet, so we'll find out during preseason whether they can. One of the first few things I want to do with my team is to make sure that we don't end up being in debt too soon, because money is going to be a major issue for LLM sites. And if I look at my wage budget, which is at the moment the club is spending 9,542 from a 9,288 wage budget, which means that I have two choices. One, I get rid of a few players and drop that below the wage budget so that we are financially stable in a sense, because I tend to follow the practice of making sure that my wage budget is always below. I operate below my wage budget. There are two ways of doing this. One, I can just simply go to my team and then look through my team and look at the contract look at their wages and see who are the ones that are really expensive. Here I have Daniel Hammond, who I just brought in, Joseph Kaplan, Yuki Ichikawa, and Anas Hadi. On hindsight, when I'm looking at this player right now, I feel like dropping him straight away. But at the start of the season, right off the bat, I don't like doing that. I don't like to get rid of players so soon. So what I do instead is I make sure that my wage budget is adjusted so that I still have some money in the bank, and I keep the thing level. So it's now 9674 out of 9548. So that's okay. So I reduce my transfer budget, park more money inside my wage budget, but I still need to get good results in, and this will help me to do okay. There is one player called Steven Johnson here. He's in my team. Really, I don't foresee a future even for him, even as a backup player. So I'm going to mutually speak to him and say, yeah, I think you're good enough to be part of the squad. I'm better than some of the rubbish you're apparently happy to keep around. It will not change. So I decided to become a bit aggressive on the players. So here we are, first friendly of the season. I'm gonna be putting my team through the paces with the 4-3-1-2 system, because I'm starting out with a team that I am not too sure how they're gonna play with my 4-3-1-2. I will give them, I'll tell the fullbacks to play on support. I'm gonna ask me, assistant manager, to make some recommendations. Thorsten Schneider, whose contract is expiring soon. So this is the team that I've set up, and we're gonna try this system out with them. In preseason, all I look at is whether or not my system plays out the way I expect it to play out, whether I'm getting the stats that I want to see, and the flow, whether my pivots are operating the way I expect them to operate. So I don't really worry too much, and I usually speed through preseason quite quickly. I just treat preseason as a chance for me to see how my players can adapt to the system. So this match went pretty okay. We completely dominated that match. Here we are, first game of the season's coming right up. Geylang versus Home United. Before we begin, I'm gonna have to do certain things. You can see that the rules of the S League home match, are, there's a maximum of 4 foreign players that we can put out. This means this is quite a pain in the ass, especially when you have so many foreign players in your team. So first things first, Joey Ho, Jang. Okay, I'm really asking for trouble, but hell, man, we're gonna have to find out if this team really does have anything in its tank. We will also have to start thinking about a plan to bring in more youngsters. Uzaifa Aziz. So let's look at my attackers right now. And what do I have? I've got all these players. I can't play all 3 of them. So Torsten Schneider, Lionel Feliz. I'll put Lionel Feliz down and bring in, and then remove him from position. Okay. Going back to my squad. That brings me back down to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and Hammond. Hammond will play instead of Joaquin Lopez, and I'll remove him from position. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5. So we probably will have to take Kaplan off, remove him from position, and put him side Taha. So up front, I will have to start adding other players I spotted during the course of the season who have a chance of playing for the side. Load up with a few DMs. So here we have Hafiz Noor, Fuad Rami, Shahiru, and Hamdan. Hamdan's marking, passing, his space is a bit slow, 6 and 7. So this is the team that's gonna start the game. Okay, let's look at tactics. I will try something different. Definitely not gonna use this. So based on the fact that I don't really have that many players that I can depend on to be the foreign legion. Okay, so we can stick these players in. Mustakin is a winger. Taha, Shahirun, Noor, and Aziz can play up front. So that gives me, I can bring Joey Ho back as a goalkeeper. And then from the reserves, the goalkeeper here will be Syrian will play. That allows me to put in Bruno as a striker. So Aziz. Okay. So we got Said Taha. This Mustakin Nazu. He is. These 2 players are gonna cut inside and make a beeline for the goal. They're gonna create a lot of chances. So we are going to look at a DM who has got off the ball running. So here we are going to go to our squad. Look at attacking, and then I'm gonna find one guy who has off the ball. Okay, so we customize this view. I don't really have a lot of players. The optimal number of players I can put on my team in the 4-3-1-2 will feature a lot of foreigners. With the 4-1-4-1, I can put in just the right players in the right places, and maybe that will give me a better chance. So here we have the team is almost all set up, heading into the first game of the season. Let's hope the boys play well. Let's look at the shouts. Okay, I'm pretty defensive in my setup at the moment. Play wider, whip crosses, ball into box, play on defense. The shots are pretty standard for me. And here we go. Go out there and impress me, boys. You've been they've been playing with a 4-3-1 to the whole in preseason. So first match of the season, they're going in there. Boss, we're playing a 4-1-4-1. We've never played the system in preseason. I'm a psychotic coach, so don't worry. Oh, ooh, almost. It's home United with the first clear chance of the game. Hopefully, we do the deed against this team. A 4-on-4 is fair, even though it's got an attacking mentality. It depends a lot on whether I can get my fullbacks up to support my attacks. We have it's a penalty. Oh, it's a penalty, and I haven't even set my penalty takers yet. The guy who won the penalty is taking the penalty. Oh God. Yep. Well, rule of thumb. You know the season is about to start. Things you should be doing, get them done. Oh man, I hope I don't rule that. Saitaha plays the ball. Oh, my goodness. How did he miss that? That three chances, three clear cut chances in what was it? 1 second. Come on, boys. You're playing well. You can still win tonight, guys. Home United are still playing a 4-4-2. Alright, we'll make one change to the team soon. Um, the ball winning midfielder who's playing, he's not playing very well at the moment. Probably down to the fact that he screwed up. His penalties got a rating of 6. So putting Fuad Ramli. Great ball from the back. Oh, couldn't do anything on his own. Oh, the first game of the season is ending. Goalless draw. I am not ecstatic over this. The boys played decently. Didn't play too badly. We were a bit unlucky. Good start to the season. We controlled this match, but we just couldn't beat Home United. It's not bad. It's not great. Okay, so what we're gonna do now is, knowing fully well that we are screwing, we don't have the right players. We're gonna look at the scouts reports, because I've sent the scouts out to scout Singaporeans. So let's based in Southeast Asia, and our nationality will be Singaporean. Yay, let's go all Singapore boys. Alright, so my scouts have come back, and I have a few recommendations. So we have this boy called Farid Ghani, who's a goalkeeper. I will sign him. I'm desperate. Transfer. Approach the sign. Suggest us, finalize the deal. We have to strengthen the Singapore contingent now. Okay. Let's look at defenders. We need someone in midfield though. Okay, that's not a lot. My list is like kinda sad. This is sad. This is so sad. Age is at most 27, 28. Bravery is about 10. So we got let's bring the bravery down to 9. Okay, so we bring the bravery down to 9. We have one player standing out, Dong Jun Ming. Not bad. Um, we need to Khalid Jantan, pace 11, strength 7. Okay, I'm gonna sign this boy simply because he's strong, he's decent pace. He may not be able to see the pass. His vision is only 1, so yikes. So now we got Ridwan Osman, 11, 12. Good teamwork, good natural attributes, space, strength. Yeah, he's out. He's not strong. He's like a mouse on the pitch. Devadas Ganesan, strength 8, 11. Composure 5, finishing 8. He's below the average. Midfielder, passing 10. I think I'm gonna sign this boy up. He's an average player, but we'll give him like 200 and we get 160 per week. That's to be the backup. No, we'll give you less. I'll give you an appearance fee of about £100. We have to start looking for expired contracts players. We need to increase our depth in our team because there will be issues later in the season if I don't have the necessary depth in my team. Devadas Ganesan, we'll sign this boy up. He's another Singaporean. So this Geylang International team is gonna be. We're gonna try and get as many Singaporeans in this team as possible. For Geylang to become a real threat, they need to depend on local talent. Saiful Iskandar is from Singapore, defender left. Wow. I go wow initially. Why? Because I see a lot of 8s and 9s. That puts him in the higher average category. So we are going to also approach to sign him. Okay, this is not good news. It means I'm over my budget or close to. So we're going to bring this down. We're going to have we're going to start. I won't be able to sign more players very soon. So I'm going to max out my wage budget and I'm going to look at my squad. There'll be lots of players who are going to be seeing the door very soon because I need to get decent players into the team. So we're going to give him what he wants, 275, but I'm going to give him a high appearance bonus every time he places £100. Let's see if this works. Yes, he's decided to join us. Star is now Geylang, Australian goalkeeper Scott Star has gained Singapore citizenship. Really? Yeah. I hate to say this, but they spend a few years in Singapore and the average player becomes a goalkeeper in Singapore. Scott Star. Here we are, the big match, Harimau Muda, the youth team of Malaysia versus Singapore. They have a reciprocal arrangement, the Singapore Federation, Football Federation, and Malaysian Football Federation, where they actually have their youth teams in each other's leagues. Harimau Muda happens to be the Malaysian youth team that's playing in the Singapore S League. Saiful Iskandar will sign for Geylang. That's good news. We've got a fairly decent fullback to give so that Kaplan, who's playing on my left, I can let him go or play him up front. Okay, so now we have Saiful Iskandar, who's 29 years old. Kaplan now can so Saiful will play as in Kaplan's position. That means Kaplan can now relax, have a smoke a cigar, sit on the bench for a while, or give the rest of the Singaporeans a chance to play. So we got 2 new players going straight into the first team, playing against Harimau Muda from Malaysia. This is a national youth team from Malaysia, playing the same system that we played the last game against Home United, 4-1-4-1. Let's see how Geylang International does against the young Tigers from Malaysia. Taha True plays across. Oh, oh my goodness me, oh dear. Missed the chance to take the early lead again. Taha crosses again, rocks the bar. A lot of pressure on Castanheira. He's probably heard that I'm going to be um, making a lot of changes to the future for this team. Plenty of players are not going to be in the team in the future, as we have plans to increase our Singaporean contingent in Geylang. And I'm pretty confident that we can. Hadi back to shot. And we have scored the first goal. Yes, I'm beginning to see some really nice football. I'm very happy to see my two new additions to the team settling in very quickly. Ganesan, he's played well so far, and Shaifu, fullback on the left, is also having a decent game. So Ganesan is doing well, and Shaiful Iskandar is also doing quite well. Shahirul has picked up a knock, so we're probably going to take him off. A quick sub him off. He's 68. He's a captain of the team, so we'll put on Fuad Ramli for Shaifu. Shaifu having a blinder, playing really well as the captain, but I don't know how I don't really know how well my team is going to gel. So we're gonna play it safe. Time now to see whether the Tigers have changed their system. No, they're still playing the same system. Bruno has been brought out in the box. It's another penalty. Again, the guy who wins is taking it. That's no good. I have still not changed my penalty set piece routine from the first game. Bruno scores. Geylang take a 2-goal lead against the Young Tigers. Bruno gets off the mark with his first goal of the season. Pretty happy with the game thus far. Our stats look quite, they're dominating the match. I'm playing with a mid-round doubters. If you remember how I said, oh, what a goal from Castanheira. That's a cross that, turned into a goal. 3-0. Well, this 4-1-4-1 uses mid-round doubters. If you still remember, I covered this in another show a few weeks back. So what we expect to see from our ML and MR is not so much them running down the flanks, bringing crosses, but more inside movements from them to support the lone striker, so he's not always alone. Geylang International have beaten the Young Tigers, and that was really a good game. I'm happy to see that they're coming together. I will end up using my preferred 4-3-1 to eventually, but for now I don't have the enough players who can. I have the players, but they're all foreigners, so I can't just put foreigners up. We won't be allowed to field the team, so we have to manage with what we have and bring in more youngsters so that I have the depth in my team for me to play a 4-3-1 too. That brings us to the end of another show. Well, I hope you enjoyed this edition of BusttheNet. We are looking at lower league football, and I will be following Geylang International and discussing Singapore football and Malaysian football as we go. If you have any questions, you know where to find me. For now, I've got to go. I've got tons to do and not enough time to get them done in. So see you guys again soon. Bye.